So we are 2 months removed from the release date of Scarlet and Violet 151. I believe it was September 22nd was when the Elite Trainer box for Scarlet and Violet 151 and then a couple other products came. That first wave of products. And then 2 weeks later, October 6th, was the release of the Ultra Premium Collection and the second wave of Scarlet and Violet 151 products. And we're going to talk about Scarlet and Violet 151 in today's video, specifically price changes as they're attributed to singles, because it's very interesting to look at. We do this a lot with new sets, but Scarlet and Violet 151 has just been a completely different animal, and I think that's because it's like the perfect set. I don't want to say perfect. Every set has its flaws. Like the pull rates for Scarlet and Violet 151 are a little tough. Now that does help collecting cards maintain value a little bit better, but for the most part, I feel like it helps every single branch of the Pokemon space. You know, it's good for collectors, it's good for investors. It might be a little bit low for the competitive space, but specialty sets don't typically have a whole lot of competitive cards. You have Mew EX in the set, which is fairly competitive, and the jury's still out on like Zapdos and Alakazam, and Blastoise could be good one day, or Charizard could be good one day, and Grabber has some possibilities as far as item cards go. So it's not necessarily a terrible competitive set, but the artwork for collecting cards is absolutely it's sublime. It's so beautiful. Not just the special illustration rares or the illustration rares, but going all the way down to the commons, the uncommons, the holographics. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful set. And then on the flip side, it's also been really, really good for store owners, especially because store owners, LGSs, have struggled mightily over the past years, to the point where a lot of them have been forced to kind of close their doors, where Scarlet and Violet 151 is available enough for them to order. Now, you can't order a lot of it, like a lot of distribution. All the distribution centers that I work with, they do have Scarlet and Violet 151 products in stock, but it's very limited. So you can only get like maybe 4 Ultra Premium collections a week, or maybe 6 Elite Trainer boxes a week. So it's not like they can load up on a bunch of Scarlet and Violet 151. But what it's doing is it's kind of culminating to a point where they can still sell, LGSs can still sell at a profit, where they're not scalping the product, but maybe they're selling, like we did, Elite Trainer boxes of Scarlet and Violet 151 on Black Friday for $43. So it's $7 below what you would pay for MSRP. It's still enough wiggle room there to hit profit margins, and then the consumer gets a fair deal. And it's not like it's being scalped at stores either. It's not like it's being bought up off the shelves, at least not anywhere that I see for the most part. And you can let me know in the comment section down below what you think. But I just feel like it's been a very, very strong set. One of the first times the entire year that Pokemon has released a set that's really just kind of been a home run. And you can let me know what you think in the comments section down below. But Scarlet and Violet 151 has been just a phenomenal set. And because of that, the singles, for the most part, are just really, really maintaining their price point. Even as we continue to get more printings and more restocks of all of these products, and more packs are being opened, the value in these cards, it goes to show you that a lot of people are trying to master the set and trying to collect the set. And I think it's important, while it's important to focus on the money side of things and the value side of things, you don't want to go broke over the hobby. We talk about this all the time. So if you're not looking at spending money to fill up your master set, focus on the trading side of things. And there's a lot of cards in Scarlet and Violet 151 that actually are maintaining their value extremely well that you can use. We need to get back to our roots sometimes here and really just kind of focus on trading. So this is TCG Player. This is just, I just scrolled, put some filters on so that way I could view Scarlet and Violet 151. We're just looking at reverse hollows for the commons, uncommons, and rares, and that's it. We're just looking at those, and then we're looking at the best selling here. If you're just looking at buying, like, focus on trading as well. Go to your local league. I'll leave a link to our Discord channel in the description down below. You can join Discord channels. There's a lot of good trading outlets that you can go to kind of shore up your collection, your master set, places like that where you might be missing cards. There's cards in here in Scarlet and Violet 151, especially when it comes to reverse hollows, that have a little bit of value. So if you're looking for some reverse hollows maybe to free up, so you're not opening just a ton of packs or anything like that, but then you're also not breaking the bank by buying them, you can trade off your reverse hollow Jolteon. You can trade off your reverse hollow Mewtwo, which is currently has a value of about $2 a piece. You can trade off your duplicate reverse hollow Gengar, and there's pages of these reverse hollows that are worth, over $1, that have a $1 to $2 value in it. There's a Vaporeon there, there's a Dojo. Those are a lot of the rare cards from the set. But if you just go through and look, like this Protective Goggles is almost at $1. You have Energy Recycle basically at $1. Shoring up your master set that way, where you're not breaking the bank by spending cards, and the only cost that you're really accruing is the shipping materials, you know, the bubble envelope, the top loader, penny sleeves, things like that, and then the actual shipping label itself. But there's a lot of people out there probably like you who are looking at kind of finishing out their Scarlet and Violet 151 master set. And because prices continue to climb in some different areas, or maintain their price point, it's very important to kind of look at alternative options like trading. It is called the Pokemon trading card game. So that way you can kind of finish your collection goals. Maybe you set a goal for yourself to master Scarlet and Violet 151 by the end of 2023, and that's a goal that's very attainable without breaking the bank. So definitely look at trading as a specific option, because there's a lot of cards in 151 that people are missing that do have a little bit of value. You can make some good equal trades that'll help you out and help, you know, out the person who you are trading with. So we're going to look at the actual price changes, and I like to document these as we go on throughout a set. And for the most part, you're going to see price drops that are, you know, 70-80%. Once you hit release weekend of a new set, and we'll take Paradox Rift for example. Paradox Rift came out last month. That release weekend, those prices, they tank like crazy. So that Miriam card that came out in Scarlet and Violet base that was selling for about $200 a week before release, those pre-order prices, once people found out how easy it was to pull, it crashed like crazy. Opening weekend, it was down to $100. By a week later, it was down to $70 and kept dropping to the point now where it's a $30 card. So it's important to look at when the best time is in order to buy singles if you're going that route versus opening packs, because opening packs is a lot of fun but not necessarily cost effective. So it's important to make the best decision when it's comes to spending your collection dollars, so that way you're not breaking the bank. But some of these cards from Scarlet and Violet 151 have just done extremely well over the past couple months, and as you get a couple months into the set release, that's typically where you're going to see a lot of cards get closer to that bottom, especially as more and more product is coming out. Scarlet and Violet 151 has had multiple waves already, so a lot of product has already been opened. So you would expect a lot of these cards to already be close to their bottom. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think they will go down. It's just taking a lot longer for that to happen than what is the norm. So if we look at the Charizard EX on the left-hand side here, these snips that you're looking at, the market price here is the actual market price that occurred on opening day. So opening day, September 22nd, when Scarlet and Violet 151 released, this Charizard EX special illustration was selling for $125.98. That was the market price that was established for Charizard EX. I like to get that price point right away in the morning, right as TCG Player is opening up sales for everybody, because I think that's where the dust settles. Okay, this is the pre-order price that people are willing to pay, and then how far is it going to drop in a week or 2 weeks as more and more product is being opened? And this Charizard EX has not dropped. In fact, over the past 2 months, it continues to climb. And when I looked at the data that you're looking at in the middle of the screen here, this is current data. So this is the current price point of where Charizard EX has fallen or risen to over the past couple months. So over 2 months has passed since the release of Scarlet and Violet 151 in singles. Some of them have actually gone up. So we went from 125.98 up to 135.38. So a card like the special illustration or Charizard EX has jumped up to 135.38, seen about a 7.5% price jump over the past 2.5 months, which is very, very abnormal for a lot of cards after a set releases. It's not the case for all these cards. A lot of cards did drop significantly, like this special illustration or Erica's Invitation. You can see on opening day it was selling for $77.06. This card has dropped like crazy. It's down almost 65%. It's dropped down to $27.32. So if you see any cards in here that you're like, okay, well, this is a price point where I'm comfortable paying for this card because I think this is a good price point for it, now might be the time where you want to start looking at possibly picking them up. Now, Erica's Invitation could drop a little bit more yet, but $27.32 definitely a lot better than that $77.06 that it was on opening day. Zapdos EX Special Illustration Rare, this one went down as well. Opening day it was at $57.94. It did drop to $41.72. Not a bad drop, only about 28% over the past 2 months. Erica's Invitation, the full art, this one took a huge hit. So this one has dropped almost 74% over the past 2 months. Now that's something that's much more expected and much more normal after set releases. This was at $53.79 on opening day, currently selling for $14.14. The full art Mew EX is also dropped hard. Part of the reason behind that is just because there are so many Mew EXs in existence. It held on very strong opening week, the first couple of weeks before the Ultra Premium Collection came out, because it is such a competitive card. However, after all these Mews came out and hit the market, this Mew EX full art just really started crashing. $51.89 on opening day, down to $21.09 currently, so it's dropped about 59.36%. The Venusaur EX Special Illustration Rare opening day was selling for $46.43. That card has actually stayed very, very flat over the past couple months, gone up and down a little bit, but for the most part, right where it was when it started. It's currently selling at $46.52. The Blastoise EX Special Illustration Rare has actually jumped up more than the Charizard EX. It's currently at a 20% increase from where it was on opening day. $43.24 is where it was selling on opening day. Now it's selling for $51.87. That full art Charizard, so not the Special Illustration Rare, just the normal full art, was $35.31 on opening day. That one has actually risen as well. 3.2%. It's up to $36.44. The gold Mew, kind of the same story as what we talked about with that full art Mew, right? Like, there's just been a lot of copies of them out there. $34.20 on opening day. It's dropped down to $11.05. So about a 68% drop for that one. The Charmander Illustration Rare, a lot of these starter Pokemon for the normal, the big three, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, did extremely well and continue to do extremely well. This card was selling for $28.42 on opening day, which is already a little expensive, and it's gone up since then. It's jumped up almost 19% over the past couple months, currently selling for $33.78. The Ivysaur, $27.24 on opening day for this Illustration Rare. It's dropped down about 33%, so not a terrible drop over 2 months, currently selling for $18.28. The Alakazam EX Special Illustration Rare was selling for $26.72 on opening day. So this one, it got hit really hard opening day right away, and it's done extremely well since then. It's jumped up about 34.5%, currently selling for $35.95. Full art Bills Transfer, this one got hit really hard. So this one's dropped over 77% from $26.45 opening day to $6.08. The Pikachu Illustration Rare was $25.51 on opening day. It's been relatively flat. It did go down a little bit, like right around $18, but it has risen a little bit since then. It's selling for $22.34 currently. So that's about a 12.43% drop. The regular Charizard EX went from $22.69 down to $5.34. So that's what's expected. 76.5% drop on that one. The full art Golem has dropped about 27% and went from $12.82 on opening day down to $9.39 currently. The Illustration Rare Caterpie also has dropped from $12.22. It's dropped about 33% down to $8.22. So a lot of these cards dropping between 25 and 30%. Not as much as what you would expect, but still dropping. Wigglytuff EX went from $11.30 on opening day down to $7.56, so that's a 33% drop. Switch, the gold cards just don't do as well as what they used to do. $13.15 on opening day, already fairly cheap. It's dropped all the way down to $4.87, which is about a 63% price drop. Look at this Squirtle, though. This Squirtle has been absolutely nuts. So it started out opening day at $12.95, got bought up like crazy, and then just has never gotten back to that price point, even close. It's jumped up over 104%, so it's currently selling at $26.43. Just insane price growth on that Squirtle. The Blastoise EX regular art dropped over 80% from $12.89 down to $2.55. The full art version, the Blastoise EX full art, was $18.43 on opening day. That has also risen. It's gone up over 11%, currently selling for $20.52. The Mew EX regular art, again, same story, just a different artwork. So many Mews out there. This card went from $16.19 opening day down to $7.12. Seems to be holding fairly steady for as many copies of Mew as are out there. It dropped about 56%. The basic hollow psychic rare, whatever you want to call them, these hyper rare energies, the psychic variant went from $15.65 opening day down to $6.12, so that's about a 61% drop. Very, very used to that. Zapdos EX full art was $19.23 opening day. It's dropped down to $11.77, so about a 39% drop on that one. The Tangela actually took a decent hit. This one started out a little bit more expensive than I thought it would. $19.13 on opening day. It dropped down to $7 and a penny currently, so that's about a 63.36% drop. The Special Illustration Rare Giovanni's Charisma went from $18.89 on opening day down to $13.05, so only about a 30 31% drop on that one, not bad. Charmeleon illustration rare went from $21.95, rose almost 6%, so it's currently selling for $23.24, not bad over the span of 2 months. The Wartortle has been extremely flat. Opening day was selling for $20.98, currently selling for $20.93, so not even a percentage point difference there. Venusaur EX Full Art, this one relatively flat as well. This one was selling for $19.98 opening day, currently selling for $18.95, so that's about a 5% drop. The Nidoking Full Art, or Nidoking illustration rare, I should say, $11.10 on opening day, still relatively flat, dropped about 15% down to $9.44, which isn't bad at all. Giovanni's Charisma was at $11. This is the full art variant, $11.07 opening day. It's dropped down to $6.55, so about a 41% drop. And then Poliwhirl, the illustration rare, went from $10.81 opening day up to $13.13 right now, so it's gained about 21.5%. The Ninetales full art was $10.58 on opening day. This one has jumped as well, $12.88 currently, a 21.74% growth. Bulbasaur was only $9.99 opening day. Look where it is now. It's $24.59 currently, 146.15% growth on that Bulbasaur right there. Absolutely insane. The full art Alakazam also went up, $9.35 on opening day, up to $12.11 currently. That's a 29.5% jump right there. Daisy's Help, this one didn't drop as bad as I thought it would, but it didn't start out very high. So this was at $9.10 on opening day. It dropped down to $6.12 currently, so about a 32.75% drop. The illustration rare Machoke dropped almost 13%, $9 on opening day, $9.07. It's dropped down to $7.90. Venusaur EX, very similar to what we saw with the Blastoise, with a 74% drop. Kangaskhan EX, the full art went up 23%, so it started out at $7.95. It's currently $9.78, so strong gains from that one. Mr. Mime illustration rare, very flat, $7.92 down to $7.37, so that's only about a 7% drop. The Arbok EX full art, this one also went up $7 and a penny on opening day, up to $9.09 currently, almost a 30% gain over the last couple months on that one. And then the last page that we're going to look at, the Dragonair illustration rare, this one was insane, $6.34 on opening day you could have bought it for. Now it's selling for $16.89, so 2 months after release it's increased over 166%, which is just unheard of. It's very abnormal. And then the Psyduck illustration rare, also very strong performance, $5.54 on opening day. It's gone up to $10.81 currently. That's about a 95% price jump over the course of 2 months. Now there's been ebbs and flows ever since then. You could have bought them, you know, at different times for probably less or probably more than what we're looking at here, but it's, for the most part, Scarlet and Violet 151, like I said, it's been a very strong set for collectors, for a lot of different places, a lot of different branches in the Pokemon space, which is very, very interesting. But again, really wanted to kind of talk about the reverse hollows and talk about trading to try and master sets so you're not going broke or overspending or anything like that. Scarlet and Violet 151 is a ton of fun to open. Pull rates are a little bit more difficult than what I think a lot of people expected, especially after we got spoiled with how good pull rates have been with Crown Zenith. So definitely something to keep in mind as you continue moving forward. We have a little bit of a break here until Paldea and Fates comes out at the end of January, so you've got about a month and a half to kind of shore up any collection goals that you might have before Paldea and Fates gets here. So you can let me know in the comment section down below what you think, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble for way too long. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video, do what you can. You know, it helps grow the channel. So thank you so much for everything. I'll talk to you again in a couple days. Until next time, peace.